Hello, beautiful soul. I am recording this episode 3 days after my absolutely incredible first ever big event, Light Leaders 2025. And I'm still buzzing. I'm still on cloud nine a little bit. It's not quite fully sunk in yet what was created in that space on Tuesday. And for anyone listening to this that was there, I'm sure you'll be feeling it as well. Like it was just the energy in the room was just so beautiful. And I wanted this episode to just be about why I created this event, what it means, and how I see this going into the future. So I, as part of my spiritual journey from when I hit rock bottom in 2023, like so much happened for me personally. I lost my identity. I didn't feel confident in myself. My soul dog Ruby passed away, and she'd been through so many huge, pivotal, really tricky moments in my life. Um, from like just everything, like my parents separating, anxiety, just stress, overwhelm, my body changes, pregnancy, like miscarriages, everything. She's just always been there. She was my absolute rock. She was just always there to be by my side. And when I lost her in 2023, it really was the start of things going massively downhill. And then it only just kind of spiraled and got worse from there, where I just felt so disconnected from what it was I was doing. And things just didn't feel really good in like life or business, despite the fact that I had everything on paper looked great. Like everything on paper looked really good. The business was going well. I had amazing clients. I'd created an amazing brand agency. Like things were going really well in terms of business. I had the amazing husband, the three kids. Like everything was great on paper, but internally I just felt so lost. I felt so disconnected from who I was, and that was what really started my kind of spiritual journey. My first experience of energy work was Reiki, and it was actually my dog Ruby that introduced me to Reiki, because she was the first dog I had that I went to a animal Reiki specialist to help her with something that she had when she was a puppy. So I'd experienced firsthand the magic that is created from energy, but I'd never thought of introducing that into my own life, into my own stuff. I'd always just done it with my dogs, which is no wonder why I'm so interested in doing Reiki for dogs now as a bit of a side hustle. Um, and I went on this real journey of like tapping into all these different practices, different modalities. So Reiki, um, belief coding, timeline therapy, meditation, hypnosis, Akashic records, human design, like so many different things to help me really identify who I really was on a soul's level. And it was only when I started to do this work that I started to claim back my power, because for my entire life, as the firstborn, as the oldest of three children, as somebody that always puts others first, I'm very heart led. I'm an empath. I want other people around me to feel good. I would so often be putting on this, not necessarily an act, because I think I did feel good, but I always felt like because people commented on how my energy just lit up the room and how I was always laughing and always happy, I kind of felt like that's who I needed to be, because that is what people were telling me I was. So I would go into spaces as the happy, really bubbly, really energetic person. And quite often that's not how I was feeling internally. And it almost felt like I was putting on a bit of a show. Um, and obviously after doing that for years, like putting everybody else first, always being the one that looks after other people, being the sensible one, being the grown-up one, it's just a lot of pressure. And I think this can probably relate to a lot of people that are listening to this that are the eldest of like other siblings, because you are seen as being like you're meant to be setting a good example and leading the way, and you're basically born into being a leader. My human design is actually a role model, so although that was aligned to me, for other people it might not be. And it's really interesting that we kind of get given this job essentially from such a tiny like young age. Anyway, I've gone off on a bit of a tangent. So my whole spiritual journey over the last couple of years has really helped me to understand who I am, understand what I'm here to do, understand how to show up in a way that feels really good to me, because that is so important. We are surrounded by so much noise in what we should or shouldn't be doing, and what does work, what doesn't work. And this is what the algorithm is saying this week, and this is what this social media platform, oh, there's a new social media platform, let's learn that. There's just so much noise when it comes to growing a business that we can get so lost in what it is that we're doing. And for me, really tapping into who I am and claiming back my power, so I felt confident, so that everything kind of clicked into place, so I knew who I was, so that I could look in the mirror, and instead of only seeing flaws, I looked and saw the person that had got to this stage, that had made it through all these hurdles, that has created such huge transformations for our clients. Like, I have literally had clients tell me that I've completely changed their life. Like, that is an incredible thing. And yet when I looked in the reflection in the mirror, all I saw was somebody that just didn't look like how they used to look, with the wobbly tummy and the saggy boobs and everything that comes with being a mum. Like, just, I felt drained. I had bags under my eyes. Like, I could see that I was just sad. I really looked sad in my reflection, and I hated looking at myself in the mirror. To now, I look in the mirror and I can honestly say I can look there and be really proud of what I see, and to have that self-love for myself. And that is what I'm here to create for others. I want everybody to be able to claim back their power and show up as the leader that they already are, in a way that feels so good, so aligned to who they are. And I think when we become the main character in our own show, when we take that center stage, take the spotlight, because at the end of the day, we are the ones in control. We are the ones in control of each decision we make, how we show up, what we say, what we do. And if we can lead by example and just really make decisions based on what feels good to us, like, we can create anything. There's so much that we can create. And when I'd gone on this journey, I realized that this had been the missing piece of the puzzle for not just myself, with in terms of building my brand, but for my clients as well. So now the fact that I get to blend my marketing, visibility, expertise, I mean, that's literally all I've ever done in work. Like, since leaving school, doing my A-levels in art photography and fashion textiles, I've literally only ever worked in creative roles, in brand content, in marketing, visibility, all of that kind of stuff. And my spiritual journey over the last couple of years means that I can now blend that into what I do to help my clients to really stand out in a way that feels good to them. And one thing that came up in an Akashic Records session that I had earlier this year was about understanding my soul's purpose, which is to empower other people, which is to use my communication as my main thing to really help others to thrive. So speaking, whilst I was always that shy kid at school that would never put her hand up, that would never want to take center stage, that would never want to get involved in anything on stage, I'd always be behind the scenes, to then be told that actually, like, speaking is totally aligned to you. Doing my podcast is totally aligned to me. And actually, it's my favorite thing to do. And I love speaking in person. I love speaking in masterclasses for people online. Like, I love sharing my knowledge to help others. Like, that for me is the most rewarding thing that I can possibly do. And that's what I wanted to create with Light Leaders, because I saw a huge gap in the market. I was seeing, from doing my own sort of practices, understanding myself and working with these incredible, like, Reiki, human design, energy healers, wellness providers, all these different incredible people that had so many years of expertise in what it is that they did, like 10 years, 20 years, even 30 years experience in what they did. Like, incredible people who had never had an opportunity to speak or even thought about speaking, because it just wasn't ever on their radar. They got all their clients from word of mouth and returning clients, which was amazing. And I just thought, how incredible would it be to have a space where these kinds of people that are literally changing lives with their gifts had an opportunity to share their magic and create a bigger impact on a larger scale. And I know from myself, when I started to look into speaking, that for those of you that have a smaller audience, that actually getting speaking gigs can be quite challenging. First of all, you've got to get the right one with the right room that is going to be aligned to you. But also, if you've got a small number of followers, more often than not, you're going to have to pay quite a high amount to get into the right rooms. Like, we're talking thousands of pounds to be there. And there was something that felt a little bit off for me, because I know a lot of the wellness providers that I've worked with over the years, a lot of these kind of practitioners, they've built their business without needing the online side. Like, they literally started their business before the online world was even a thing. So they've scaled really organically. And it's meant that the online space has never really been that important to them to be visible. they've kind of just got clients in through that word of mouth and returning clients and referrals and things. And I thought, what a shame that these people that are more often than not undercharging for their incredible talent, that they've got this incredible gift, the thing they've worked so hard for and put decades of expertise into, how sad is it that they are not getting the opportunity to speak because, one, they maybe didn't have the budget to invest thousands in speaking, and two, they had a small audience. So it kind of just wasn't aligned for them. And I thought, these people are literally the living, breathing definition of a light leader. They are changing lives. They're so incredible at what they do. And I just felt so cool to create this space. So that was where Light Leaders came from. It started off as being a space to allow new people who hadn't done any speaking before, who had a huge amount of experience in what it is that they did, that were literally changing lives with their gifts, to speak, capture some content, and then go away and show that they can actually do speaking, that they can do public speaking. So the initial intention was to create a small event for like 15 people, 15 speakers. We were going to capture some content on the day so they had something to go away with. And then the more I spoke to people about this, the more people wanted to get involved in it. And they saw that this was a huge gap in the market. And they just wanted to be really like a part of this huge empowering movement that I was creating. So I started getting people asking if they could come just as a guest to come and support these speakers. And before I knew it, these tickets were kind of selling. And part of me felt a bit guilty because obviously the whole thing that I'd sold to the speakers was, you're going to have an opportunity to speak. It's going to be a small room. You're going to get all this content to show that you can speak. And then before I knew it, I ended up with 50 people in the room. I mean, that's a big difference to go from a room of 15 people to 50, like for these speakers. But what an incredible day. Like the people that were in that room, I can honestly say, hand on heart, and I know it was my event, so I'm slightly biased, but this was the feedback from people on the day as well, is that I've never been in a room with such beautiful energy. There were no cliques, there was no gossiping, there was no negative energy. It was all beautiful. Every single person in that room was connecting with other people. They were sitting with different people. They were making new friendships, new connections, new collaborations. We actually had somebody that came in the room from Zimbabwe. And she happened to sit next to one of my speakers who was also from Zimbabwe. And that was her first ever speaking gig. She was terrified to do it. These two ladies happened to sit next to each other. And it turned out that they even went to the same school. Like, how crazy is that? Like, this is what happens when you create these opportunities, these spaces, the stars just align. And it was just such a beautiful day. And I'm so proud of what I created. And I'm really excited because I am bringing it back next year as well. So Light Leaders 2026 is going to be on the 6th of October. Those people that were in the room on Tuesday, and even a few people that weren't there, have already been securing their tickets. I will put the link in the notes below so that you can go and grab your ticket or get on the wait list. The early bird tickets go available to general release on Monday, the 13th of October. So if you're listening to this after then, you'll be able to go and grab those. And then the full price tickets will be going on sale on the 1st of November. So depending on when you're listening to this, there will be tickets available. If you're listening to this after the events even happened, then this is going to be a yearly thing that I'm going to be doing every single October. And I'm honestly so excited for the next one. The first one is always that kind of test to see what is going to work, what isn't going to work. The whole day worked beautifully. So the difference with next year is there's going to be less speakers, but more interaction, more excitement, more energy, and just experience. I really want to create an incredible experience for these heart-led, impact-driven leaders who are genuinely here to support others, to change lives, and just make the world a better place. And I'm so grateful to everyone that came to the event this week. Yeah, please do go and check out my social media to go and see some of the behind the scenes. I'll be sharing the professional images soon. I will be doing a blog post. And yeah, I'm just so grateful. If you're listening to this and you were there, thank you so much for coming. If you weren't there and you've got FOMO, go and get your ticket sorted in the show notes below. I would love to see you at the next one. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And I will speak to you in the next episode. Take care and have a beautiful day. Mwah.